Sawasdee ka. Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We are broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's Wednesday, March the 9th, and you're with me, Tra Thirakosan. The team of doctors tending to His Majesty the King at Sirat Hospital has stopped giving intravenous antibiotics to His Majesty after additional results of special laboratory tests showed the King no longer has bacterial infections. In the 22nd statement on the condition of His Majesty the King while staying at Sirat Hospital, the Bureau of the Royal Household said that His Majesty's fever was decreasing gradually after taking antibiotics along with physical therapy. The statement said the result of a recent blood test indicated that His Majesty's joint inflammation has disappeared. Doctors will continue giving His Majesty the King antibiotics to reduce infections while prescribing oxygen and physical therapy. The statement said the medical team will closely monitor His Majesty's health condition. And welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, Interior Minister General Anupong Pauchinda has expressed satisfaction with the government solutions to drought, saying he is confident that the country will come out of the drought crisis. Assistant Government spokespersons Colonel Taksada Sangkachan and Colonel Atisit Chainawat said Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha instructed all government units to work together in campaigning for water conservation nationwide. He also emphasized the restructuring of the agricultural sector and the cultivation of drought-resistant crops. The Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives informed the Cabinet that the country discharges 18 million cubic meters of water each day. The Prime Minister asked all areas to consider building dams to store water and find ways to treat wastewater for safe discharge into the environment. The Interior Minister instructed all provincial governors to submit detailed solutions to the drought as well as problems related to water use. General Anupong said that locals were ready to handle the drought crisis following the government's continuous efforts to inform them of the situation. General Prayut added that the government could not prohibit water usage in all areas or its recreational usage to celebrate the Songkran festival this year. The Prime Minister's wife has opened a ceremony to mark International Women's Day, urging Thai society to appreciate the importance of women. Assistant Professor Narapon Chan-o-cha, spouse of Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha, chaired the International Women's Day 2016 event organized by the National Council of Women of Thailand under the royal patronage of Her Majesty the Queen. The ceremony was attended by representatives of 203 agencies within the network of the Council, as well as the Cambodian ambassador to Thailand, the wife of the Laotian ambassador to Thailand, and a representative of the Malaysian Embassy in Thailand. Assistant Professor Narapon commended the Council for its strength in organizing the event, which she said would encourage society to acknowledge the importance of women. She stated that creating equality between men and women was the duty of all Thais and urged all sectors to allow women to play a greater role in developing the nation. To mark International Women's Day, several organizations, including Thai Women's Watch, the Thai Women Empowerment Fund, and Thammasat University, held a parade that started at Democracy Monument and continued to Thammasat University's Thapachan campus. The parade called for the new constitution to ensure that all decisions made for the country have 50% input from women. Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Chattopadhyay is in Sri Lanka to strengthen bilateral relations and expand cooperation between the two countries. On this trip, Mr. Somkit is accompanied by Commerce Minister Apiradi Tantraporn, Industry Minister Achaka Sibunrung, and other high-ranking officials of public and private organizations. Upon arrival in the capital Colombo, the group was warmly greeted by Sri Lankan Minister of Buddhist Affairs, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. The Deputy Premier's visit is aimed at following up on the implementation of joint resolutions and cooperation in trade and investment, tourism, agriculture and fisheries, as well as academia. The resolutions were brokered between Thai Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha and Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena during the latter's visit to Thailand, which was in last November. In addition to meetings with Sri Lanka's President, Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Mr. Somkit is scheduled to attend a bilateral meeting of economic ministers and a business matching session. The Cabinet has approved assistance measures for homeless citizens as well as those affected by the reclamation of encroached land along major canals. According to Deputy Government Spokesperson Major General Wirachon Sukhonta Patipak, the Cabinet discussed yesterday the proper care of homeless people within Bangkok and the provinces of Khon Kaen and Chiang Mai. Approval was granted to a program in which social services will be made more accessible to the homeless. Under this scheme, homeless centers will be set up to offer housing assistance along with empowerment programs and skill training. It hopes to reach out to more than 1,300 registered homeless people in the 3 provinces and will be extended to other areas in the future.
First, 2 measures for improving the quality of life for homeless persons in 3 major provinces. A program to improve accessibility to social services for homeless persons of Bangkok, Khon Kaen and Chiang Mai was approved by the Cabinet today. This program includes the establishment of homeless centers, increasing available housing, and the introduction of empowerment programs through connectivity to the private sectors, skill training, and civil society. This program is expected to help more than 1,300 registered homeless persons in these provinces and will be available for any other homeless person who seek assistance from the government. We move on to the matters involving public utilities and improving the quality of life for communities along public canal. The Cabinet today approved a program to develop canal-side communities, which will include measures to support residents who are being affected by current actions to reclaim and reorganize encroached public land along the canal. In particular, the budget will be used toward improving land development, providing compensation for affected families, as well as organizing living space and relocation for 74 affected communities or 11,000 households along Prem Prachakon and Lat Prao canals. Currently, there are over 1,000 canals in Bangkok which suffer from unauthorized residential encroachment, which over 23,000 households or 94,000 residents. The government is therefore continuing with this drive with cooperation and consultation with affected residents. As today is International Women's Day, I would like to congratulate all 4 female winners of the National Human Rights Commission Award for their outstanding achievement. For our younger generation that may not remember, Thailand is proud to be one of the first countries to have suffrage since 1932.
The Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, has decided to let the Supreme Courts handle all ethical issues of politicians after the new charter takes effect. CDC spokesperson Udom Rat Amarit said the charter drafters have already made changes to Section 11 of the draft Constitution, which focuses on the roles and the power of the Constitutional Court. Mr. Udom said that the CDC decided to transfer the final judicial power for legal cases away from the Constitutional Court to avoid criticism related to vague stipulations in the draft charter. He said that if the authority is left with the Constitutional Court, there could be backlash over its growing authority. According to the CDC spokesperson, the President of the Constitutional Court will meet to invite the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the Senate, and the President of the Supreme Court of Justice, the President of the Supreme Administrative Court, the heads of related independent organizations, as well as the Prime Minister to discuss and resolve the issue together. A Thailand-United States Joint Committee meeting on science and technology was held in Bangkok to exchange views on 5 areas of cooperation. Permanent Secretary for Science and Technology Weerapong Phasuwan and Judith Garber, Acting Assistant Secretary of the Bureau of Oceans and International Environment and Scientific Affairs, co-chaired the Thailand-United States Joint Committee meeting on Science and Technology under the agreement relating to scientific and technical cooperation between the Royal Thai Government and the Government of the United States of America.
Well, there are different cooperative activities that we can do in these different areas. We also had a lot of good discussions on innovation. I know that the U.S. is very proud of its innovation ecosystem and how important innovation has been to helping the United States increase prosperity at home and abroad, and also in meeting many of the global challenges that both the U.S. and Thailand face. So by sharing those experiences and working with Thailand on its innovation approaches, we think that there's great potential here for all.
Both sides agreed to strengthen cooperation in 5 areas, namely environment, health, renewable energy, metrology, and STEM education. Mr. Weerapong added that Thailand and the U.S. also agreed to establish the Wildlife Health Center at the Faculty of Veterinary Science, Mahidol University, to better understand wildlife health for the health benefit of not only the 2 countries, but also the entire world. The Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau has brokered an agreement between the Sampran Riverside community and members of the Thailand meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions to buy organic produce directly from farmers. TCEB Chairman Wirasako Surat said the Bureau's 5-year master plan came into effect last year and is intended to preserve the environment and promote Thailand as a sustainable MICE destination.
The project we do today involves very much about the sustainability issue. By sustainability, we start a year ago that at least 9 of the major operators in the MICE industry from the private sectors agree to start purchasing organic rice. We start with rice because rice is easier to transport and also easier to keep for the hotel and also for the venue industry.
These goals, as well as promote organic farming, TCEB launched a project called Farm to Functions. The agreement was then conceived to encourage event organizers to cater to their clients using organic foods they can buy straight from producers. Sampran Riverside Managing Director Arut Nawarad, who created the Sampran model, said his hotel also serves organic rice he bought directly from farmers.
So each month there's a delivery of about 25 tons of rice directly to the 6 hotels and 3 convention centers. So the delivery is done twice a month, every 2nd Tuesday and 4th Tuesday of the month. And it's really the first time in Thailand where hotels and convention centers get together and plan their rice consumption and then buy directly from the rice farmers.
The deal as beneficial to all sides. Thailand MICE members receive good quality products while his farmers can sell their products at higher prices without losing a percentage of the profits to the middlemen. The Treasury Department has scheduled the 29th MIF Directors Conference, or MDC 2016, from May 1st until the 8th in Bangkok and Phuket. Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn will graciously preside over the opening ceremony of the 29th MDC on May 2nd. Director General of the Treasury Department, Jakrit Parapankun, told media outlets that the international event will facilitate the exchange of knowledge in coin minting and its markets, bringing value to the study of minting. Executives of 47 mints from 43 countries will share their studies on minting and marketing techniques. This year, the event will include competitions on coin design and packaging.
This conference, we have separate in session, global session, technical session, and marketing session. For the global, we have the topic of the session is like a future of payment. we have guest speaker from the European Commission. Next section, we have the technical section. Technical section, we will talk about development in die making process. Last one, we have the marketing section. Marketing section, they will talk about the marketing of the bullion coins. Bullion coins are like gold coins in the market.
Director General of the Treasury Department, Mr. Chakrit Parapantakun, said the theme for this year's event is called Change, Challenge, Opportunity, and hopes to prepare its members for the upcoming challenges in the industry. Thailand's Treasury Department has planned to establish itself as an international coin maker and generate sustainable income for the country. And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Next in awesome news, Thai-Lao Joint Commission meeting has discussed border security and preventing transnational crime. But first, before we go to that, let's take a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Pad Thai. Created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
ASEAN Economic Community. Having the same hopes and mutual intentions to create sustainable growth and permanent economic progress within the framework of the ASEAN Comprehensive Investment Agreement. The ACIA exists to facilitate trade and commerce between member nations, as well as to improve quality of people's lives. One vision, one identity, one community.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Thailand and Lao PDR have held their first Thai-Lao Joint Commission meeting in Nakhon Phanom province. The meeting discussed border security and preventing transnational crimes. At their first border security meeting, both nations agreed to upgrade bilateral cooperation against cross-border crimes such as weapons and narcotics trafficking as well as prostitution. In addition to crime prevention efforts, Thai-Lao cooperation will also cover issues related to the environment and illegal migrant workers. The Thai-Lao Joint Commission meeting on border security will be held at least once a year to ensure both countries are progressing in the same direction. And elsewhere around the world, an American tourist was stabbed to death and at least 9 other people were wounded by a Palestinian armed with a knife on a popular boardwalk in Tel Aviv while U.S. Vice President Joe Biden was in a meeting only a few kilometers away. The attack took place in the popular Jaffa Port area, which is a favorite spot among tourists. The Magen David Adom Ambulance Service said 4 of the wounded had severe injuries.
Across Israel today, including Jerusalem, the Tel Aviv area, Petah Tikva, and then in Jaffa. More than 15 Israelis were injured, including 2 police officers who were shot and are being treated in hospital. And in the attack that took place in Jaffa, 1 tourist was unfortunately killed, an American tourist. His wife was also seriously injured. And the rest of the people that were injured in that attack have been taken to hospital. Heightened security continues both in Jerusalem as well as in Tel Aviv in order to respond and prevent any further terrorist attacks.
Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden arrived in Tel Aviv on Tuesday at the beginning of a 2-day visit to Israel and the Palestinian territories. Biden, whose 2010 visit to Israel was marred by acrimony over a Jewish settlement plan announced during his trip, met former Israeli President Shimon Peres after his arrival. The U.S. Vice President is due to hold talks on Wednesday with Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem and with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the occupied West Bank. According to one U.S. congressional aide, Biden plans to speak with Israeli leaders about a new memorandum of understanding being negotiated for U.S. defense aid to Israel. The aide said Biden was handling the negotiations because relations between Obama and Netanyahu were so sour that the vice president was seen as the only member of the administration who could finish off the deal. Libya, Syria, and bilateral trade agreements were on the agenda in Venice as Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi and French President François Hollande met for a bilateral summit. Renzi and Hollande were joined by French and Italian ministers for the annual Franco-Italian Summit this year held at the Venice landmark Doge Palace by St. Mark's Square. In a joint news conference on Tuesday evening, Renzi and Hollande reiterated their stance on Libya and Syria. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi 5 years ago, Libya has slipped into chaos with 2 rival governments and armed factions struggling for control. Islamic State has grown in turmoil, taking over Sirte city and drawing foreign recruits. Hollande, meanwhile, said that any foreign action in Syria must be aimed solely at fighting Islamic State. Hollande also told reporters that France and Italy wanted to cooperate in key industrial sectors, including telecoms, and create major companies that can compete at a European level. That's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just simply type in NNT or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. We are going to say goodbye now with footage of a female baby gorilla born in the Denver Zoo. I'm Tra Thirakosan. Have a wonderful day. Swadee ka.